The new year is just 17 days old. How are you, my friends? Have you achieved the goals you set yourself at the beginning of last year? That means 2022. Has the dream of your career come true? Have you rattled through your high school diploma, or have you to repeat a year? Or are you older and are you looking back on your life from your retirement? Small and big goals and the question, who am I? These days the diva Gina Lollobrigida died, an actress from another era, like Cary Grant, Marilyn Monroe and Elvis Presley, whose daughter died last week. I'm not an actor, at least not a professional one, but if I think about it, I'd be a contemporary German actor and would compare myself to these greats. I probably couldn't get up in the morning out of shame to shoot a new episode of Red Roses, Rote Rosen, or From the Dream Ship, Traumschiff, in the film studio. But I don't need to make such a constructed comparison. I only need to compare my YouTube followers with those of Eckhart Tolle, currently 5 followers with his 1.7 million followers, or my book sales with his. Where do I get the courage to publish anything at all? Next to such a spiritual giant. But while we are on the subject of numbers, Marques Brownlee comes to 17 million with his tech videos. Do we realize how relative all these comparisons are? Is Marques Brownlee now the better person that he's having more success, which seems obvious with so many followers, than Eckhart Tolle? I don't play any part with my 5 followers in this comparison between these $1 million babies. We don't even need to go to YouTube when it's about comparing. I could name umpteen Instagram blogs where fitness freaks document their training successes over a year with before and after photos. And you all know them, or have already posted photos like this yourself. I remember a post where a young woman with a normal figure apologized for showing off swimsuits, saying she wasn't that fit and not actually a fitness model. We live in crazy times. I come from the last century. How that sounds. I remember the phrase from my childhood, "Don't be so loud. What are the neighbors supposed to think?" when I was a teenager arguing with my parents. What other people think of me. In the age of the internet, this has a completely different dimension. The whole world is now watching the morning coffee table. Every kilo too much is commented on. There are new words like hater and shitstorm. I long for the time before the internet, say many who still know the difference. The virtual world has become so intertwined with the real world that it's almost as real as the real one. It's shocking how much power the tech giants Google, Instagram and YouTube have acquired. I received a warning from YouTube for posting a video denouncing sexual abuse in the Catholic Church. The video was banned and I was threatened with being completely banned if I repeated it. The YouTube algorithm had blacklisted my video because sexual abuse was mentioned. I then contacted YouTube and sent a link to the English video which had the same content. Fortunately, my video was unblocked again and I had a clean slate again. I dread how technical progress will develop in the next 10 or 20 years. I now try to use as few Google services as possible. This is especially true on my new phone, where I uninstalled certain apps like Gmail and Google Calendar and Google Photos. But back to the beginning. Am I someone because I'm a famous movie star or a vlogger with millions of followers? Money, success, reputation, clothes, house, All belong to the outside world and have little to do with who I am or how I feel. I remember watching a video of Eckhart Tolle telling how his success has made him lose his anonymity. He is recognized everywhere. Do I really want this? A book success, an inheritance, or a lottery win changes your life completely. Then you can think of 1,000 things to buy and where to travel. You accumulate things in the outside world that alienate you from yourself and others. Therefore I say to you, do not lay up treasures for yourselves on earth to be eaten up by rust and moth, but in heaven, says Jesus. In plain language, remember, God does not look at external things like success, money, and good looks, but God sees you. He looks at your heart and knows who you really are. God loves you unconditionally. His standards are different from ours. Your worth has nothing to do with how many followers you have, whether you are a winner or a loser. God sees you differently than society judges you, different from how you judge yourself. Unconditional love. What did Jesus achieve? 3 years in the society spotlight, only 12 followers, then the crucifixion. This is how most of his contemporaries may have seen him. But if you open your heart, you can still experience Jesus' presence today.